I had never done any hand-painted signs, let alone truck lettering. So at first, I wasn't even sure how to begin this project. Surely the spacing would be important, so I decided that everything had to be measured. You might be wondering why I would try this at all when there were other options like vinyl decals or just a magnetic sign. Well, if you've been following my channel for a while, you may already know that my previous work truck had disappeared from our driveway just over 3 years ago. To this day, it has never been recovered. That truck only had a magnetic sign on each door, so it was super easy for the thieves to remove those. They also removed the canopy and thereby made the truck much more difficult to recognize. This theft almost killed my business as my insurance was really basic and didn't cover theft. I had to start over from point zero, beginning with basic tools, only acquiring this truck in early 2024, when I could no longer service my customers properly using our little Ford Focus to transport tools and materials. The truck you see in this video was a wreck when I first got it. It took the better part of 2024 working on it much of my spare time to put it back on the road. Having sat for about a decade, it needed much mechanical work. The frame was solid. The body wasn't great, but for the age of the truck, it was not terrible neither. There was more work to be done on it this year too, and what you're seeing here are basically the finishing touches. Aside from other theft deterrents, the hand-painted lettering is unique and a bit harder to get rid of than a magnetic sign. What do you think? Does this look okay?
Yeah, that fancy lettering. I did that myself. Let's go for a little drive and then I'll tell you more about this truck. Shall we?
At the time of this recording, the truck has already served me for about 1 year, hauling my tools and materials for all kinds of handyman projects. It has been running really well mechanically, but up until recently, didn't look the way I envisioned it. But now, finally, after all this time, I can show you what I got. Welcome to the little tour of my 1989 Chevrolet work truck.
All right, let's turn this truck off. Why would you want to drive a 1989 truck? Well, let's talk about it. This 1989 truck, I bought it a year and a half ago, and it wasn't running. It was a long shot to get it running, let me put it that way. But like, I was in a desperate situation. I had a handyman service that never stopped, but I was working out of a Ford Focus. So as you can imagine, there isn't enough room in a Ford Focus to put a pile of wood, or there isn't enough to put a toolbox and a ladder. You can always just put one thing or the other, or you have to like compromise, you know, sometimes leave the hatch open. I mean, tie it down with a bungee, whatnot. It's not good. So I needed a truck. I definitely needed a truck. In my thinking, like back when I was in my 20s, I'd always get a truck that wasn't, well, I did this once actually, I shouldn't say always. Back then I was inexperienced. Bought a truck for $400, drove it home. I actually drove it home, but then the engine was making this crazy knocking sound, and I knew right away that this, like, I'd gotten screwed. So I had to rebuild the engine on this truck. And then after I rebuilt the engine, as you can imagine, if the engine is toast, it's not the only thing that needs fixing. So I had to fix the whole damn truck. A lot of stuff on that whole damn truck. So over the next, what turned out to be about 10 years or so, I had a truck that was never in the greatest shape, but toward the end it wasn't too bad mechanically, but then the body started falling off. It was a Dodge D100. All right, this one that I have right now, it's a Chevrolet C1500 and it's from 1989. If you've been following this channel last year, you've seen me rebuild this vehicle. Some things have happened since then. I think the last time I posted something about it was when I had to do my intake manifold, and I had to do it twice because the first time I didn't put enough of the RTV silicone between the heads and the front and the back. There's like a bridge, and yeah, it leaked. That wasn't a good experience, I tell you. I mean, it was a learning experience for sure, but it wasn't what I had planned for. Shall we take a look around this truck and I explain you exactly what it is? Pretty cold outside, so let's do the interior. There is something I have to admit to you. It is not perfect, but what I can tell you is that everything works. There's the instrument cluster. It's straightforward, nothing special. Needs a little bit of dusting. This compartment, I actually had to get it, including those vents with the adjusting, because it was all a little bit broken. It's in the proper color, blue. Originally, my truck, when I got it, it had an aftermarket radio here. I took that out because this thing has all that I need. The glove compartment, you could see the plastic is painted black. Somebody did that before I ever had my truck. The door panels, they are old, worn. I think that's fine for a work truck. The Skyliner has a little bit of an issue there, and I mean, maybe eventually I'm gonna take care of that too. One thing I had to do, I cleaned up the seat belts really good, and they work flawlessly. The carpet that's in this truck is not original. There was a rubber mat in here, which I find is terrible because it traps moisture. Now this carpet, it's not a specific automotive carpet. I had to buy a $20 piece of carpet off of somebody and fit it myself. And then I found these beautiful mats that show the color of the carpet, and I liked it. The heater box, when I first got the truck, it was taped together with a cardboard box at the bottom. So I had to repair that. What else for the interior? I bet you I can find you something else. Yeah, the handles for the window cranks. This one here is not original. I had to get it at a junkyard. And in the process of taking off these panels, well, they're a little bit brittle, and I didn't have the proper tools, so there's some damage here. Not a huge deal. The mirrors, they are not adjustable from inside. You have to actually go out. This one you can do it with the window down. Now, when I was in the mechanic school back in 1989, this truck was the latest model. This was the new GM truck. Chevrolet, GMC, all the same trucks except different badging. But this was the latest model, and the big thing was electronic. Everything's electronic. Electronic fuel injection. This is an OBD1 truck. See this measly little connector here? This is where you plug your OBD1 scan tool if you have one. Yeah, I tried the OBD2 scan tool and it doesn't connect. I thought it did. Oh, by the way, these door hinge pins had to be replaced also. Let's open up the hood, shall we? So this is a 305 cubic inch V8. It's a small block Chevy motor, because zillion cars had the same kind of motor and they have a reputation for being bulletproof. You see, the water pump is painted orange. Well, that's because I did it, and so is the timing chain cover behind it. That's also because I did it, because I had to do both of these repairs. The intake manifold gaskets are brand new. This air cleaner box and all this, I had to get it from a junkyard. Ooh, yeah, this is nice and warm now. This truck, when I first got it, it had a propane system. The throttle body on the truck, it had to be completely overhauled, but I did not replace the injectors because I was able to take them apart and clean them up and put a kit on them. There's the air breather for the crankcase ventilation. Behind all these wires there's an EGR valve. It's there. Yeah, the EGR valve, I had to replace it. It was creating a vacuum leak, so it wasn't even the deposits in it. It was just the wear and tear. And this engine was exceptionally clean when I got it because the propane runs cleaner than gasoline. It has, by the way, right now it has 309,000 kilometers on it, so that is somewhere in the neighborhood of 200,000 miles, I think, and it's still going strong. And see, all I do with this truck is usually I go to work. I don't drive that much on the highway. It's mostly in town. It's actually probably way more power and engine than I'll ever need. So let's see what else. When I got it, I flushed the entire power steering system. There was no repairs done on it except the linkage underneath is all brand new. This alternator came with it. So you could see this plate here. This is where the propane whatever thing there was sitting. The truck has no air conditioning, never did. It's a C1500, as standard as could be. For those of you who are wondering what transmission is in it, well, you can go back into my older videos and see. It's a Turbo Hydromatic 400. As it turned out, it was originally from this truck. Let's have a look here. The whole linkage is new. It's got 4 new shocks. The springs were okay. Let me just think, what else do I need to tell you about this? The fuel system. Fuel pump, fuel tank, fuel lines, brake lines, the brake front and back, it's all been done. You might be looking at the paint job thinking, hey, that doesn't look too bad, and I hope you like it. But it was done with the paintbrush and a roller. And see this fancy lettering? Well, that's my artwork. It's kind of reimagined from my business card. And I learned how to do lettering the old style. It's painted on. It's got aluminum wheels at 15-inch. When I got the truck, I replaced the bumper. I replaced the tailgate recently because the old one was just too rusted out to seriously fix it. The lighting had to be replaced. These are other lights because the 1989 version of these lights had some issues. There was connections that would just corrode and then it was useless. Most of these things, like the bottom of the door has been repaired. The cab corner is homemade. So is the corner of this box. So is the corner of this part of the box. And even in the back here, it's all patched. Yeah, to prevent the corrosion, I use this wool wax stuff. I forget the name of it now, guys. Am I going senile? By the way, the trim level of this truck is Cheyenne. And I haven't shown you the seat bench. For a 36-year-old bench, it's not bad, is it? How do you like this design? This was pretty much the original, I think. One feature that I really like, these lights, they're glass. They will never go dull like this blinker light here. Yeah, they're sealed beam lights like they had in the back in the 60s and 70s and through part of the 80s. And then they just came up with all fancy light designs, and they're all plastic. The plastic cannot take the constant abrasion that is coming from all kinds of road dirt. You know, every time you drive, you get some stuff on there. In the summer it's the bugs, and when you're on a gravel road then they go dull, and then they try to sell you new ones and stuff, you know. Yeah, the engine bay is nice and warm. Let's shut the hood. Let's go inside the truck again. I mean, it's just a little chilly outside today. Anyways, this is pretty much the way my truck is right now. It took a lot of work, and it's still a 36-year-old truck. You know, that's never going to change. It's not ever going to be brand new, but it runs pretty darn good, and I love it. So yeah, if something goes wrong with this truck, guess who's going to fix it? That's because it's a simple design. I am very capable of doing the repairs myself, even outside in the driveway. So leave me a comment. Do you like this kind of truck? Would you go through the effort and the cost and the frustration sometimes of fixing this truck? I mean, I have videos on this channel where you can see it wasn't always easy. When I first changed the oil on the truck, oh my God, I couldn't get the oil filter off. Then there was a fitting that was from the intake manifold to the radiator, no, to the heater core, sorry. It was this quick release fitting, and well, 36-year-old plastic is garbage, and 36-year-old pot metal is also not that great. So yeah, I had to get that out, and it wouldn't come out. So there's a video about it on this channel. If you're buying a truck like that, be ready. There are going to be things to fix, but it is so rewarding when you got this back in working order. All of a sudden you realize what the true value of it is. I mean, this truck is reliable, it's simple, it is tough, it can haul a whole lot of things. I mean, you've seen the 8-foot box. I got a canopy on it now that I bought it secondhand for $80. I appreciate you watching this. I hope you like this. Leave me a comment. What kind of truck do you have? Do you like this old style Chevrolet? I was also considering a Ford or a Dodge. At the time they were called Dodge. But I wasn't really considering a truck that was 2010 or later. My old truck that got stolen was in 1997, was newer than this one. And I liked it too. I'll see you in another video, and it won't be about a truck. I do other things, you know. If you haven't done so yet, maybe subscribe. It's a click of a button for you, totally free. And to me, it means a lot. Thank you.